be healing. Truth agreement is tripping.
So there's certainly not enough vaccine in the world to go around right now, but there is enough vaccine to make sure that all of the vulnerable groups and priority groups like healthcare workers in every country can get vaccinated. And that's the critical thing in order to start to chart a path out of the acute stage of the pandemic. We have to prioritize that kind of equal distribution to the groups that need it most. And that is possible, that, you know, that solution is in the hands of the G7. They've got enough supply, at least they will by the end of this summer, to be donating doses to make sure that they're distributed to low-income countries and still to vaccinate their adult populations back at home as well. So, you know, there is a constrained supply, but there's every reason to believe we can achieve equity, and we don't have to wait till the end of the year to do that. Those doses should be donated and delivered in the next 2-3 months when they're most needed. We want to see them commit to start the doses arriving from June immediately. And over the course of June, July, August, when we know that our supplies are so short, that they prioritise getting the doses flowing now and steadily all the way through the year. What we don't want is for there to be lots of, you know, grand statements and commitments not backed up by detailed plans and not backed up by timelines. If we have a stop-start supply, or if we store all the supply up for the end of the year, it's very hard for low-income countries with quite fragile healthcare systems to then really be able to get those vaccines off the tarmac and into the arms of healthcare workers. So we want a coordinated, time-bound, ambitious commitment starting from June and charting the course for the rest of the year. In this next little while, we've seen that the virus is not over. It might feel like it's nearly over for some of us living in countries where we're lucky enough to have been vaccinated. But in other parts of the world, the virus is still absolutely raging out of control. And we should be worried about that for the people in those places and for our own families, because as long as that virus is allowed to rage out of control, it's mutating, it's creating new variants, and that puts everyone at risk. So unfortunately, we can't yet feel that relief that it's over. It isn't, and it will only be over when we get vaccines to all of those countries' vulnerable groups. The good news, the hopeful news here, is that the G7 leaders, between them, by the end of this summer, are going to have enough vaccines to do that. This isn't a hopeless cause. It just requires political will and urgent action now. So I think all of us should be urging our leaders to do it, not just because it's the right thing to do, but it's the smart thing to do, and it's the only way out of the global pandemic.
We say no. We say